The conclusion of Heartland Season 16 brought storylines to a close while providing potential for more, demonstrating the show's capacity to hold viewers' attention. The subject of the season finale, which was represented in the backstories of several people, was letting go of the past in order to protect the future. The show's investigation of its Western genre roots will continue thanks to the introduction of a mayoral battle in the finale, which sets up possible tensions for upcoming seasons. The ending of Heartland Season 16 wrapped up storylines and hinted at what was to come for the cherished characters. It also opened the door for other seasons. The 2007 premiere of this Canadian neo-Western dramedy centers on the Fleming family and their storied Heartland Ranch in Alberta. The program has spun tales of love and grief during its nearly 2 decades on the air, always approaching its storytelling with a family-friendly edge that has made it a beloved TV institution. Heartland never stops coming up with fresh ideas to keep fans interested, even after reaching the end of its 16th season on television. Heartland, which is based on Lauren Brooks' young adult novels, finds the ideal harmony between heart and humor, and Season 16 had a lot of both of those elements. Even if Heartland's future and status remain uncertain following the 15-episode season, the finale did a great job of tying everything up while also leaving enough open-ended concerns to warrant a second season. The season was overshadowed by the real-life death of Robert Cormier, who had his character Finn written out following his untimely demise. With the exception of that unexpected shock, the Heartland Season 16 finale has a methodical style that suggests significant things are ahead. Heartland Season 16 concludes with Amy and little Lindy discovering a rogue horse and eventually getting back in touch with its owner, Chandra. Naturally, Lindy develops devoted to the animal, but Amy cautions her not to get too attached because they would eventually have to give him back. Chandra, however, made the decision to allow the horse, called Xavier, to remain at the Fleming Ranch after observing how clearly happier he was there. Although it was a common motif in most classic horse shows and films, it also highlighted the episode's message, which was letting the past go in order to ensure the future. Even though it hurt a lot to let the lovely animal go, Chandra knew it was the proper thing to do since she knew that Xavier was bored and constantly running away. Nearly every character's plot in the episode revolved around that premise, which also had a connection to the show's fondness for horses. Xavier's immediate bond with Lindy and his success under Freedom will undoubtedly be far more significant in the future. Georgie returned for the 16th season of Heartland with a renewed sense of fervor and resolve following her absence in the previous season. The famous horse jumper was still greatly affected by her terrifying accident and the hardship that followed, and she looked for ways to get over her paralyzing fear. Georgie receives an offer from a renowned trainer in Brussels in the Season 16 finale, one that could help her resolve her problems and actually get back in the saddle. Despite Quinn's proposal, she debated her options throughout the episode and ultimately decided to accept the offer. Continuing to speak to the episode's central topic, Georgie's decision to leave marks not the end but rather the start of a new chapter that she was anxious to begin. Like a number of other characters, Georgie's choice to go is evidence enough that she can conquer her concerns because making the journey to Brussels requires more thought than just getting back in the saddle. Her emotional openness also demonstrates how far she has come as a character and how close she is to becoming a mature adult. Quinn's choice to pop the question to Georgie following a protracted courtship was the other major surprise for Georgie in the Heartland Season 16 finale. The young couple helped one another through difficult circumstances, and Georgie's choice to travel to Brussels had no bearing on her acceptance of Quinn's proposal of marriage. Quinn lives in Florida, so their relationship is already somewhat distance-based, but despite Georgie being on the other side of the globe, the couple is committed to making it work. Quinn gained the important insight that he could hold Georgie close to his heart while releasing her physically so she may reach her full potential. Heartland is one of the best Canadian television series because it skillfully strikes a balance between drama and a generous dose of endearing romantic snappiness. That concept was never more evident than in the Season 16 finale featuring Peter and Lou. The infrequently together couple had previously gone through a divorce, but by choosing to reaffirm their vows, they demonstrated that their relationship was more meaningful than any difficult times they had encountered. It's interesting to note that Lou defied Peter's wishes and invited a large number of friends and family to the celebration, but for good reason. Although Peter was the more restrained of the two, he was nevertheless capable of romantic gestures, like the white light he chose to flood the ranch, which reflected his pleasure upon seeing Lou again. Conversely, Lou wanted to show that she was proud of her relationship, flaws and all, so she decided to open the ceremony to the public. Lou and Peter's public declaration of their renewed commitment to one another was the ideal way to end the season. Heartland Season 16's Jack Bartlett, the patriarch of the family, stayed mostly to himself and found closure even if he didn't receive the same happy ending as other characters. Jack was driven to explore his history after having frequent nightmares of his younger self, and it was there that he found his late father's will. To his dismay, Al Cotter, a kind of sworn enemy, was given Jack's cherished hunting and fishing cottage by the will. This made Jack face his troubled relationship with Al, which had truly begun out of jealousy, and make amends with him first. Through his dreams, Jack realized how much he hated Al and was constantly envious of the close relationship he had with his late father. But after Jack chose to give Al the property nevertheless, the two men reconciled when Al disclosed that Jack's father was the only father figure he had ever known. Even if they won't be great friends in the future, Jack was able to move over his difficult past thanks to the experience, which gave him more energy to focus on the future. Heartland has been subtly sustaining the Western genre on television for the past 15 years, even though more recent programs like Yellowstone are credited with bringing the genre back. Because of this, the Season 16 finale functions as both a conclusion and a beginning, and it begs for more investigation in Season 17. Slow-burning storylines such as Georgie and Quinn's marriage will probably be shelved until later, but the season finale unveiled a potential mayoral rivalry that might be the main focus of upcoming installments. In contrast to their long-standing partnership, Rick seems to suggest in the most recent episode that he would be running against Lou for mayor. Heartland Season 16 ended in a pleasing and meaningful manner, even though it wasn't quite as dramatic as the prior years. Every thread addressed the concept of the past, especially the idea of letting go of the past to make room for the future. In every key plot point, a character was able to grow by learning to let go of things, people, and even grudges. Now that she has rekindled her love for Peter, Lou can confront a possible political rival head-on because that baggage has been removed. In a similar vein, Jack's heart is made open to transformation as he lets go of a long-held grudge.